Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to this again. So yeah, for those who weren't here yesterday, I tried to finish the first game, and in doing so, I got myself in a save loop where I could not beat it. And then finding out that I have to do the whole thing again. Luckily, I managed floating in space. I did. So yeah, I completely messed up yesterday. Got myself in a save loop where I could not actually win. So I started playing the whole thing again. Lost my mind, but then remembered cloud saves exist and managed to get my save back from where I started yesterday. So I got to where we messed up yesterday, and we will actually finish it today, as long as I don't do it again and for some reason save over both my saves. So let's try it. Oh yeah, man, it was horrible. Like, I went through everything and was like, I can't do it, and then everybody watching was like, yeah, you were meant to press something else way back. So yeah, I couldn't get out, and luckily, it being the longest one, it was going to take me hours to get back to where I was for. Luckily, the save helped me there. So I've saved it a million times this time, so it doesn't happen again. It took me ages to sort it out. So, where were we? We are trying to pass blame onto the chief of police. He's trying to deflect it as much as he can. Poison you save off full damage. Yeah, I remember it happening on Halo when I played Halo like loads. The auto save would happen just as I'm about to run off a cliff. Like, oh, that's just, oh, I hate it. It's not happened to me in a very long time. It was horrible. I thought I would have to do the whole game, the whole chapter again, which I did start. Because in my rage, I locked myself out my Steam account, trying to log in on the web because I changed my password recently and I completely forgot I did. So it took me about it took me about an hour and a half because of the Steam locks to actually remember that I changed it. And in the meantime, I was trying to get through the chapter, and it just was going so slowly. But we're here now. So we've got the parking stub, Miles Edgeworth. This is where we've just gone. They've gone, how did you get the body over there? And it's sort of like, well, because he has the parking thing. You mean the body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved. You mean I carried the victim's body? Yeah, you're an accomplice. Did he get done as accomplice? Maybe in this world. But then again, they always seem to just blame it on one person, no matter who else is involved. But wait, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Ah! I was asked to go by Chief Gant. He told me you wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Name one Phoenix Wright witness who didn't lie, I will wait. Yeah. Everyone just seems to have like some weird agenda for a lot of it for no reason. What you really take talking to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the body. Put the body in your trunk. I mean, this is just showing that the person I'm trying to save is an accomplice. She may not stab the guy while he was alive, but he's still an accomplice. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Sky. At the end of the stream, I will reveal the answer. Oh. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defence's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. A photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gam, please say something. I believe your time is up. My time's up. Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. Like, that is not dodgy at all, surely. What? This is not a right that to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. What are these risks? Except in being obviously guilty. So you're just going to run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, you think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. Hi, Dre. Hi, Catherine. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current Chief of Police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do I have any concrete proof? I have nothing. This is where we messed up. I was like, surely I have something, right? Turns out, I don't. It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Udgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalise you for your allegations against the Chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, right? Say to judge after the proof that he takes a strike. Yeah. Seems that Lady Luck was on my side today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. And he just disappears. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. What? Objection! Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet the honour of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method is proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions. Raised in this trial, someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honour? Have you forgotten? The defence is the one calling the witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't stop now. We call forth the weird policeman. It's obviously Lana Sky, isn't it? The defendant. Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February the 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honour. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we'll reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now... Hold on. Chief Gan, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. On the stand, like no one's finding this weird. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. What's an art? Like, how is no one going, yeah, this is a bit fishy? Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February the 25th, 2 PM. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks for your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, huh, pals? Detective Gumshoe! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Nah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office! Wait, what? My office? Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean mayor? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Is he just giving himself a job and expect to be paid? Chief Scan's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair. He has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said? Chief, that is not right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. Impossible. Only underage girls may work at Phoenix Wright's office. Wait a minute. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, sorry for what I said before. No, don't be, it was the truth. You know, it's funny, so I feel almost relieved. Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. So, you know the other trial from 2 years ago, where the serial killer tried to kill Emma? It turned out that Emma forgot that she tried to get herself intervene and ended up stabbing the detective who tried to save her in the back. And now she's like, could get done for murder. I can't remember her passing out or anything though, but I'm guessing she did. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It was all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, you don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. Right, she stabbed the cowboy's brother. Yeah. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued. Right now. We finally got past it. Right. Let's do that one. February the 25th, 2:21 PM, District Courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? Is she gonna play ball? Miss Lana Sky, you are the Chief Prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you, but Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all I've done in these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Lies. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offence, of course I'm sure. But Lana, if this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defence may now begin its cross-examination. I worked alongside Gant for years. How many years? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. She stabbed him. Why was she in the medical office? I don't know. I think she passed out of like... Oh! But I don't think there was any real reason. Damien Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. There's more no truth. Lies. Well, think about it, Miss Guy. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. What she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated the evidence. When I found his body, I rearranged it. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but it will never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that's so, what happened to the other murder weapon? He was already dying! And she stabbed him. Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. While that was lying on the floor a little distance away, it was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yep. Broke off the tip, planted it inside the wound, Planted the tip and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgelord. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad. Maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was by Chief Scamp Gaze. Well, the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved his body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted, and it had nothing to do with Emma. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I'll get Lana to talk. If she's lying, she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Everybody in this court is gangster till the music stops and Connor stops playing. Yeah. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Oh, there we go. Fabricated evidence. Broke off the knife. Piece of the jar. Why did they threaten? Piece of the jar, you mean? Yes. That wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, Dark was laying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered by the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you? Emma didn't do it, period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? Are you willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. She did it so I won't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as the prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. Pick up jar, smash it over Dark's head. She insists she fabricated it by herself. Talk. Okay. Worked alongside for years, nothing to blackmail. Evidence. Planted the knife, piece of the jar. So my only thinking is, because it's got name on it, it's not going to be smashed first, is it? Here we go. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. So I had an itchy foot. I still do. Why do I have an itchy foot? Ah! You mean the forgery at the scene was where Neil Marshall was murdered? If the truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The piece of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my gland." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yeah, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so, and this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write the message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. Ugh. He couldn't have written the name on he could have written Emma's name on the shattered jar. Oh. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are. About the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. The jar and the message in blood. I mainly noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. Fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't the chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. The jar. I mainly noticed the blood traces on the jar. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle the thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defence's case. Ooh, burn! But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. But it was dark. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? Yeah, if I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps. Lana, you do that for me? Seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase evidence. Must have been in a hurry. I was. I know how to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. Right, so she says she wrote in blood Emma. Where would she get the jar if the body was far away? So the jar was where the bodies were, and then she moved the bodies. And the cowboy's brother was the one, well, maybe someone wrote Emma in blood. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. Why, you fool? I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in this situation? I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in the office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I carry a pocket light with a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. Gonna need my emergency luminol! I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Really? Wiped off the blood, the fragments were large. Well, I think I was wiping. Is this where we do the handprint? No. Why was there the rag with a handprint? Wiping them clean before they were discovered. Am I just showing the jar again? I'm gonna save it. Why is this one so difficult? No, not the jar. Why would she write it? She herself said she wrote the message in. Oh no, she didn't write the message. It was one of the killers that wrote Emma. I think it was the dying cowboy brother. There we go. Just did it on the wrong statement. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. I found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. The chief's safe? But how? I know it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped blood off them. Yeah, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night the prosecutor marshal was murdered, you were not the first one to show up at the scene. Oh boy. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They're in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? I thought it's better go the other way around. Why are we getting the judge involved? Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Oh, he finally realises it. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. Ow! She just bit her thumb! That was a lot of blood. Ow! Ew, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. I don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Whoa! What a personal attack. Wait a minute. If we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Hydrate. Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Miss Skye, please testify once more. If evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. Oh, called it. I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. It's about bloody time. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Remember that there's an actual recent murder case, not this one for 2 years ago. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. Well, if it really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Believable. The body was impaled on the armored sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What, to me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. She must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. She has faith. She would have surely done this a long time ago. I don't remember receiving any pictures. It's the book. I seem to remember getting something from her. Let's check the evidence again. There must be a picture there somewhere. It's in the book. How do I open the book? That's how we open it. Ooh. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detectives saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything. Got the picture. A piece got out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside the safe? What's this? Emma's handprint. This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth had fingerprints on it. Whose fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? Those fingerprints. They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found his body impaled on the suit of armor. Oh, that wasn't even me. Oh! That's a nice photo, banned for gore. Oh, why is he here? This is the poorest excuse for trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What now, you want to make me out as a bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be the risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you. I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean? You still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? It's a cloth. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Why did my internet have to die now? Don't worry, we're not there yet. Gant just got involved, tried to testify, and they were like, no, no, no. And now he's trying to make me show the handprint. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now, and if you try and conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do? I better think this through. Right. On thought to make. Should I present a piece of evidence? One that shows things. I'll show it. Why not? Yes, Your Honour, I do have further evidence. Time's finally come to show it. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Now then, let's see the evidence. The evidence that shows you actually murdered. Right, I don't want to show that, do I? Fairly certain this is the jar. I kind of want to do that. I want to blame her and see what happens. Knocked him into the sword with the jar. Yeah, I think you're right. No, I can't. I can't show them yet. Why not? You know which item to show. If you're not sure, then think it through again. How can you use that evidence to your advantage? Oh, okay. No, I can't yet. Screw it, she's going to prison. Is this a piece of leather cloth? Yes, most likely it was cut from the victim's chest. Vest near his chest. What's this? There's a handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. Use fingerprints for this. I'm sure Wright was checked, haven't you? Whose are they? They're Miss Skies, Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe, you cheeky monkey. Yeah, at least didn't get a strike. Do you really expect me to believe that? But give it up, Mr. Wright, it's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting the evidence, you tied Miss Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. Uh-oh. It appears we have our killer. You. I think I got worse than a strike. Everything hinged on that. In the end, Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. Ooh, yeah, that was a bad move. I wanted to see what would happen. I didn't get a strike, I just got worse. As if I just can't. Your Honour. Get knocked out, body shoved handle in the cloth, tucked into a shirt. Yeah, like, it's obvious because she tried to break him apart, that's why it's there. I don't think that's conclusive. Your Honour, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie, Chief Gant. You opened my safe. Ah ha 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 ha. Played him. I know what you took was inside. The conclusive evidence. Don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show him? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at the picture. If the court had more than collective brain cells, they would have thought that. Yeah, they do seem to struggle. See the victim's chest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Looks like it's part of being cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Reverse, reverse. What's reverse, reverse? Is that new? I don't even know what that is. play with my controller or a different orientation? Okay, right, we're doing it. We're doing it. I don't really know how it's going to help because it's just the keyboard upside down. Maybe I'll do it that way. I only need to press enter, so I should be able to do this. This feels wrong. This feels so wrong. To be honest, I didn't think you. I'm already messed up. Oh, Windows keys over there. I'm not a fan. That's yeah, it's upside down. It's upside down right now. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, righto. I'm a mouse. I'm doing the whole lot. This is not how you should ever wear a mouse. Well, I can't let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What you mean to admit it? Oh, my mouse is upside down. Ah! I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It was then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. I knew it, Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted this guy. I told her, why is he like all of a sudden becoming clean? Like, there's got to be something to this, isn't there? I told her to arrange all the evidence. Had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This is before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most eligible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. Well, if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? Yes, I ensured this trial, so if I fail, the suspect will go to prison for a half sentence. You mean that piece of cloth? Come now, Wright. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit it then, Chief Gann. That you are hiding the cloth you cut from the victim's vest in your safe. Yeah, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Wright-o. You could have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. It's been a very long battle. My mouse is... no! Right clicks, left click. Okay. Got it. We nailed it. We nailed it. I can show you the evidence. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this evidence. The evidence that showed who actually murdered. Going with the jar then. Mr. Edgeworth, your opinion, please? I think Mr. Wright's humour has improved at the expense of his defence. Oh no, it's not the jar. Okay. That one. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. How come no one noticed that his vest was, like, a part of his vest was gone? There's a handprint on the cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could have not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, ho, ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. Think about it. Wright had all this time to present his evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would it be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Do you really know? I thought they've already said this. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose are they? Very well, I'll tell you. Right, so I have to go. The only witness who didn't lie was the bellboy from the second trial. Did he? Yeah, I guess so. In a bit, Toad. Thanks for stopping by anyway, buddy. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Did the bellboy not lie? Guess he had no reason to. Just really liked his thing. The fingerprints belong to you. Take that! Emma Sky? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. Why didn't you tell me? 5 minutes. Fluke the pig. Oh, ho, ho! You're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! This guy. You knew whose fingerprints were on it all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. But I'm afraid it is over, my boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offence. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. Not my badge. I like my badge. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. You know, and what's that? You really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It's Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Is it like the inside of the pit? I don't know, it's not clear enough. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Wow. This is only like my 5th case that I've got against the Chief of Police. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts the cloth. The vase. Oh, ho, ho, it's fun watching you squirm, Righto. This piece of evidence does indeed seem to contradict something. Oh, not that. Oh, it's not that. Oh, I can't save it. Damn. Bye-bye, patch. Is it the picture? Picture. This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood in his vest though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. That piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints were on the cloth, there's no doubt she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Miss Marshall was not impaled on the sword at the time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gann, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. To make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Yeah. It's finally over. Whose objection? That was close, Wright? You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean refute? You see the piece of cloth? There's legal evidence. Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Reggie? Earlier, old Ryo here concealed that piece of cloth. I don't have any evidence. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. Well, that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. It doesn't change the fact you had basically admitted to doing it. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, the evidence is indeed illegal. Seems at last. Time has come to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I didn't, I was trying to... I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Objection! So the evidence is clear. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, couldn't? There's a certain procedure involved when presenting evidence. No, Ajit, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let's settle this once and for all. Earlier refused to present evidence. If you cannot prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, I got the book. This is my proof, Your Honour. Evidence law. What is this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, it was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. You see, it's written right here in the book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your cell. So it goes without saying, I did not have the approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at that time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want more relevancy? Take a look at this picture and... Sorry, but you can't recall when the picture was presented? That was only shown a few moments ago. No, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial. That piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gand. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. The day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes. No! It was then you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, Chief of Police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gand. The killer was you. Oh my god, what is he doing? Oh my god, he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh my god. I knew I should have got rid of him. Good for nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star and then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There's too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker and he was talking about the evidence. He was taking the evidence out, he said. It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that cursed knife. And I shanked him. Like he's just admitting everything now. Like, fair play to the guy. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would only lead to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realise my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Goodman's gumshoes locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I'd no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Leaving the prosecutor's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all this? Well, she has as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments on the glove. Yeah, looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them, they did their jobs well, much to my dismay. Vacant evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. Must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why did you stand in court? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, and believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring him down once you're trying to do it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. Sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You're once a fine investigator, an example to others of the Force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. I'm worthy. With these two around you, you can't go wrong. Oh great, am I just getting all of the stuff, like all of it now? In fact, I can hear them already. Get all the cases. There are two things I want you to understand. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. It's going. Thank you very much. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant to help me forge evidence until today.
Hydrate.
I want to get like a thing for every time someone does hydrate. No, this one. So, it seems that all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now you might just make it to the top. He smiled. I owe you many thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over the past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgelord. Stop it! Oh, stop it! I only did my job. Hi, Cooper. Hope you're alright. Finally getting to the end of this case after the disaster of yesterday. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for us all. The Sky, yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder, however, and no one fucked their safe file. No one ever. Who would do that? Yeah, Cloud saved the day. It just took me ages to sort because in my rage, I locked myself out of my Steam account. Twice. So I had to wait like an hour and a half for it to work. So in the meantime, I was trying to do the chapter again, but it's so slow. Even like in skip mode, it was so slow. It would have easily taken me like 4 hours to get back to where I was, but we managed to reload the save from the day before. Luckily. You are innocent of murder, however, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as his accomplice. The trial will be scheduled for those crimes at a later date. What happened to the 3-day rule? Yep, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. You're gonna get confetti. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. They must, like, have quite a big cleaning budget for the amount of confetti. Courtroom confetti time. At long last, it's finally over. Finally! It's finally over. In so many ways. Oh, what now? Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Miss Fay thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Miss Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgelord. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over the past few days. You've done well. She did thank her sister. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting it. I imagine he just, like, pushed her over. Like, yo! Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh. Guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? What do you want? Bumbling idiot. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty? And to top it off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh. Are you here because of my sister again? Nope. Not this time. I came because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Should you be doing this? She's under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Well, the two policemen right behind you. Like literally right there. Pretty sure after every trial, there's more evidence you have to present. Oh no, please don't. Don't say there's more. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago. Oh, was this like the other one that I completely, like, did something random? It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do from keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Yeah. I remember from before. Sis. I asked Gant to help me uncover the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realise I was wrong. Oh. I changed after that day. I became a super arse. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. Yeah, I hate when people use their eyes to look at me. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. I turned my back on you that day. I'm hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realise it. Emma, I'm sorry. But sis, ooh, music's gone. That's a good idea. We'll save it and do it right, seeing as we're at the end of the this first game anyway. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back, and now you have. I remember to smile. Oh, Emma. Ah. No one can change the past. Is he monologuing now? But the only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgelord? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Is he like just behind the plant? Just like, friend. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgelord. Right. Well, I'm going. Imagine if you could just leave by disappearing. Like, I'm going. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgelord, you've got suddenly more edgier. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals, I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. Exclamation mark. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you're trying to go it alone. Oh, Trump. It's like the election was done. There you go. Biden won. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgelord, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me, and that's why I can't continue as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. Because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone unsolved. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Yeah, sure. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is for Edgelord. Yeah, we need to... Something that neither Edgelord and I would have been able to find on our own. Right, cross Edgelord. I'm guessing it's the evidence list. That's the picture I drew. Our counter-attack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Like brothers. Apart, we couldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. Time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth. If you'll excuse me. There were still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, away! Edgeworth, what will you do now? Oh, he's back. Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Just seems I owe my thanks too. Right? Oh, wait, I'm getting this the wrong way around now. Edgeworth, I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my own problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Edgeworth, away! I better be going to. Okay. But I'll be providing a visit soon, in prison. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Where are all these books? Like, is this like the Phoenix Wright version of A Dummy's Guide to? A Chicken's Guide to? Scientific Investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. So, another case came to a close. To what I did just notice. It's the same with this one. I like how the no, not that. No, not that. The words, obviously, they've had to change it from Japanese to English. And it's just this smudge. We could have done that better. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Monologuing. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. He's just there to ruin everything, isn't he? Like having a nice little internal monologuing moment at the end, and he just goes, "I'm Detective Gumshoe. Don't go trekking off just yet, pal." What is it, Detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. Well, I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap. Way to go, Detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who footed the bill. Wait, what? What do you think I could afford to do with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. What? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. I suddenly, like, I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys, let's go. Objection! Objection. Well. Oh. I arranged for a friend of mine to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study with a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days as a prosecutor office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Aww. 1 down, 2 to go, indeed. I'm never losing track of the save file again. That was horrible. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation to the chief office. If we penalised you anymore, you'd be worse than firing, won't you? Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easy. So he kept his job. Aww. Oh no. My new mission is to guard the entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yeah. Oh. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Put down your megaphone. You're in a room. Get away that. No, go. Leave. Leave. Stop it. No. Go away. Just look at you. Yeah, that's it. Cursed badger. Yeah. Wait, he's in prison, and how is he, why have they let him with a knife? He's literally in prison. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Oh, the cactus was Billy. Why has he got a knife in prison? Like, no one's questioning that? Looks like we won't be seeing each other for what? Did that pause just so she could flick her hair? A farewell gift. I put my new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Victory and then defeat. What's the middle one though? There was 3 towers there. Is it just melancholy? You don't want to know what happens when he can't shave his beard. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? This judge is useless. Anyway, he said he's been doing something for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go. That judge is useless on so many levels. Oh, it's her. Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mr. Kamea, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Have I, like, gone all the way to visit her and just get told, like, yeah, cool, I'm busy, bye. I better get a special thanks. Mr. Edgeworth. Is this the bellboy? Apparently the only person who never lied. I brought your tea. Ooh, there's a letter. What's going on? He's gone. Thanks for coming to see me off. Can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Is it just pictures of her? Oh, yeah. Get it. You added it to the DS. Aww. How nice. Can I leave? Is this it? No. Capcom. Achievement unlocked. Rise from the ashes. It's over. It's over. It's over. Thank God. I'm not saying it was bad, but it just went on. That last trial was horrible. Just because it was trying to really push the DS things. Oh, it's... Okay. So... Justice for All next. Which we'll do... next week. Yeah, as soon as we're back in lockdown, I have nothing else to do. Luckily, the DS things don't come back. Really? It's literally in just for that one game. Oh, brilliant. I'm hoping the rest of the games are voice acted. Yeah, so we'll carry on the next game in a next week. Because back in lockdown, I might chuck in some else around it as well, because I'll have more time. But we'll see how it goes. As always, thank you very much for watching, and yeah. Thanks for watching. Please check out my YouTube where all the streams go on there. I will be doing something more interesting to it eventually, but for now it's kind of best I can do. But yeah, so you can rewatch all the streams and at least follow the novels at your own pace rather than follow my time. But obviously I do prefer you all being here. Yeah. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Person is the one who stood before prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gap. The killer was you. Oh my god, what is he doing? Oh my god, he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh my god. Person is the one who stood before prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. There's only one person who that could be. Damon Gap. The killer was you. Oh my god, what is he doing? Oh my god, he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh my god. Person